Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 7 of the RaceKraft Simulations V8 Vets Split 3, coming to you this evening from the one and only Imola Raceway in Bologna, just to the east of Bologna, in magnificent Emilia-Romagna part of Italy. With me in the chat tonight, we've got Mark Dial and Reg James at the moment. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, John.
And, of course, we might just start off having a quick look at the circuit. Very, very famous circuit, known for the passing of Roland Ratzenberger and, of course, the great Ayrton Senna on the following day, on the 1st of May, back in, he's going to slip my brain, but anyway, it was a long time ago. And we start on the start-finish straight away, where we go through what's known as the variant Bassa, which is a series of couple of kinks as we head down into the Tamburello complex through turns 2, 3 and 4, where we come out of there full noise, heading down the straightaway into the Villeneuve chicane through turns 5 and 6, and then through Tosa. After Tosa, we head up the hill to Piratella. Very difficult corner to get 100% right flat out as the gradient changes. And then from Piratella, we come down the hill, heading towards the, of course, Acqua Minerale, another famous corner complex. Very easy to catch people out coming through turns 12 and 13 there. We then come up the hill past the tree-lined circuit there into Variant Alta, where we go through 14 and 15, another very tricky part of the circuit to get 100% right. And then we head down the hill, of course, past Mark Peck's family house. Say good day, wave to his mum and dad as you go past through turn 16. And then we come down into the Rivazza, where it consists of 2 corners, Rivazza 1, Rivazza 2. You need to get a great exit out of the second Rivazza, and then head down through turn 19, back across the start-finish straight. And we'll have a quick look at the points. So if you have been on the Sim Racer Hub and had a look, you'll see that Fletcher Christensen and the kid, Simon Haynes, were equal on points, but I've just gone and done a bit of an unofficial check on those by taking the 2 drop rounds out, and we see Simon Haynes leading on 7-11. Matty McMillan, 2 points ahead of Brett Fisher, who is 3 points ahead of Reg James. And then, of course, 8 points behind there is Fletcher Christensen, who is 2 points ahead of Aidan Rice, who was equal with Andrew Galley. Mark Dial's only 3 points behind. And then a further 6 points back to Healy. Joseph Granshaw sitting in the top 10 still based off that strategy of looking with the 2 drop rounds. Of course, these are unofficial. Old DC's got to go through and do all his stuff and finalise it before it's all official. But that's roughly what it looks like going into round 7. So it's plenty there to keep an eye on, boys. And welcome to the room as well, Mr. McLeod. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good. I had 2 eyes this week, which is a nice change. Looking at that list you just put up, John, looks like Mark Dial split 2.
Yeah, Mark Dial split 2 for sure. That is already petition going for that one. Very strong.
Yeah, well, it ain't over yet. That lady hasn't done.
Mate, there's 160 members and I've got 245 signatures for you to go to split 2.
Let's have a look at the grid, of course. We will bring that one up. I'll get rid of that tracker as well. So we had on pole Pete Kelleher with a 1:43.076. It was 200ths faster than Daniel Norris from Quantum Pecky Racing. Awesome job. Awesome job to put the pink 023 on pole. Great to see. I'm sure Ross the boss from Synergy Sim Racing will be pretty impressed by that. And on the second row was Matt McMillan from WKMP alongside Fletcher Christensen from Old Mates and Sons. So we've got a couple of the big players up the front there. Reg James sitting in 5th from WKMP, and then East West Racing's GMK Logistics. Craig Healy sitting in 6th. Great result from Heels. Put himself on the 3rd row. 4th row, we have the team AJR El Supremo. This bloke's bigger than Bernie Eccleston, Andrew Johnston. And he lines up alongside Quantum Pecky Racing's Scott Perrins. On the 5th row is a shadow lockout with Ed Cullen and Mark Dial. And then we go to the 6th row. We've got East West Racing's Aidan Rice representing GMK Logistics lining up alongside Simon the Kid Haynes. Back on the 6th row. Our championship leader. He's parked the fairway back there, so I have to keep a very close eye on him this evening. We roll over the page to the 7th row. Player 1, Sim Racing's Jeff Sanford lines up alongside Jason Dunn from SAR. And then, of course, on to the 8th row is Brad Hayes from Apex Esports League, and he lines up alongside Nova Sim Sports' Michael Hayes. And then, of course, the 9th row, we've got Shane Patterson from Nova Sim Sports, and he lines up alongside James Cormick from Controller Motorsports. On the 10th row is Dave Galley from DAG Motorsports. Greg Sholton, my favourite Dutchman from Mustangs NQ, is on 20th. And then on the 11th row is Darren Vermey from 1MLT, lining up alongside Neil Waters from Play One Sim Racing. Then Anita Buckland from Old Mates and Sons lines up alongside Jeff Eddy from Team AJR. And then over the page, we've got Phil Marsh from PJM Racing in 25th, lines up alongside Coast to Coast Racing's Rob Baxter. 27th was Sean Slater from Henry James Racing. He lines up alongside Matt Beale from Player One. On 29th was John Lee from Old Mason Sons. He lines up alongside Craig Rose from Quantum Pecky Racing. And then Brad Anderson from Team SRW Motorsport sitting in 35th, lines up alongside Tim Vermey from 1MLT. And then Nick Hasler from Angry Birds Racing didn't set a quality time, so I'm not sure what the story was there. And then we had Joe Marnie, of course, is our race control. And then Mike Power didn't set a time. Dave Galley, I believe, was on a license points rear of grid start. And Jason Chin is our safety car driver. And Gunther von Nordschleife didn't set a time for WKMP. So some interesting results there in quali.
You are correct, John. Mr. Galley was pit lane start.
And definitely interesting to see how few of these boys go. Let's see if we can get a better looking angle of the grid. I'll find one in a minute. There we go. Get this all ready to go. And we might light the wick on this one and get it running. Guys, what do you reckon?
Sounds good.
I think so. I'm expecting big crash turn 1 because that's what happened last time we raced here and I ended up on my roof, I think. So I was not expecting a clean start in race control. Hoping for one, but not expecting it.
Yeah, it is a track that is well known for turn 1 being carnage at the start. So based on that, we might sit somewhere in the middle, somewhere about 10th we might focus on. We might even go even the blimp. No, blimp's too far away. Go back to where we were. We might leave it on that one and we might get this started, boys. So slow start from Pete. McMillan getting up the inside. Going to go through wide in the turn 1 with Norris. And coming in, McMillan gets the jump. Kelleher, Reg James having a bit of a look. A little bit of a bottleneck down the back. Rice on the grass. But it looks like they're all going to get through safely. Bet you didn't expect that one.
Very surprised.
Especially when I saw 3 wide gun in turn 1, I was like, oh, Jesus. But no, it'll sort itself out.
Of course, it's hard to see watching on a replay, but what you really have is a few cars, like the track actually turns in. There's a few boys spun at the back here. That looks like Anderson, one of the Vermey boys, and Craig Rose. Nick Hasler getting a few spots early. He's already up 6.
Unfortunately for that one, Craig turned in when there was a car alongside, didn't realise, and 4 drivers were impacted.
And did I hear it right? Did all 4 call it in?
Maybe 5 called it in, maybe 6. Sure.
Hang on. Allergic to sim racing.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Been out of sim for 2 weeks and he's over it.
So Kelleher sitting in second. McMillan's going to lead him over the line for the first time. Daniel Norris in third. Reg James in fourth. Christian Perrin's doing very well.
It's a cracker first lap by Matty.
He's gone. Scotty Perrin's just sitting that a little bit back to getting the toe down the main straight as he heads into the variant Tamburello. Got to be careful not to hit those curbs too far on the inside. A little bit of action in front here. And Scotty driving it through very nicely. Made up a little bit of time on Fletcher in front under a bit of pressure from Healy. Healy already lost a spot early on.
If you can tuck your nose up the inside of that corner, you can really put the driver off in front.
Oh, yeah, a little bit too hot. You end up losing a few spots. That's allowed Johnson dial through. Dunn's going to come through here as well. That's dropped Perrins back down, still dropping down the order. So big shake up there. And just going to roll a little bit further down. See how Sean Slater's getting on. He's already up 3 spots. Slats always making up spots early. Putting a bit of pressure on Rob Baxter here.
There's not really much of a passing opportunity there, though.
A little bit loose on the curb. That sees a bit of spin. Shane Patterson too wide going down into the Rivazza. And looks like Dave gets through. Just going to go back, see how Andrew's getting on. He had the pit lane start, so he's already caught up a couple of guys. About to put a move here on Anderson. Brakes locked up by Rose in the background. Got the run, goes to the inside. Slight touch. Ooh, hang on to it, Rosie. Ooh, little bump there.
Yep.
Did very well to keep this car straight. Back on the track, away we go again. Nick Millen's still out in front.
Yeah, that was another unfortunate one where didn't realise Andrew was coming through, didn't see him. He was definitely entitled to room in that one. So it was play on from my point of view.
Oh, it's one of that tough part of the track. You just underestimate that curving kink at the 200 mark. And how much it actually kinks in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting braking area to turn 1. Or turn 2 if you count the kink as turn 1. I don't know what the track does.
Turn 2 is the first one. Kink's not counted as curve at that part. Which is surprising because the other 2 kinks on the main straight are counted as corners.
So Pete Kelleher showing that his pace definitely wasn't a one-off fluke, or he's definitely up the front, keeping the pressure on.
No, he was quick.
Definitely quick.
And uses the grass to get past. Nice move. Start lap 4.
So Pete was like, "No, I'm taking the lead back. Thank you very much." So he's definitely on it. I didn't see that move. That's a really good move. That said, we do not encourage drivers passing with tyres on the grass.
That might be a bit of a no-no.
Man, you should make it stick. That was a scary a bit.
But I'll let that one pass on the broadcast.
And already 2.5 ahead. Norris now putting pressure, or getting pressure from James.
I think at that point Matty got a slow down and he couldn't shake it, which is why he dropped it a second back.
Yeah, we can thank the F1 class and the tightening of the rules. I'm guessing Spa's not too bad actually next week, but yeah, some of these tracks have definitely had their track limits tightened. We had that last week as well.
Gunter looking to make a bit of a move on Matty Beale.
Yeah, you can definitely take it, Pete Kelleher. It was a great move.
I'd claim it.
Oh shit, we'll all claim it. fantastic when it works.
In fact, let me rephrase that in Bulldog terminology. Pass of the century.
Yeah, where was Bulldog last year?
I think that's the real pass of the century, not the pass
He's,
of the. I don't know.
He was crook as a dog.
So was Kyle off last week. Didn't stop him from doing well.
Oh, I think Bulldog's going out in sympathy with me not being there.
Well, he did say something about he wished he was there because it was too easy.
Rick Power.
To come back.
Okay, so I've done race control with COVID for 2 weeks and one eye this season, and and the driver can't turn up because he's feeling sick. Okay, no, we couldn't see my thumbs in air quotes.
Yeah. But he was chatting on the split one broadcast.
So not thick enough then.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Dave.
Where would you rather? Would you rather him chatting on the split one broadcast or annoying the crap out of everybody in split three?
Well, that's true.
Are you saying that Dave should join the commentary team for split one? That's a good idea.
Oh God.
No, I was getting more worried you were saying Dave.
Every week.
I was getting more worried you was thinking that Dave should go and sit with you in race control.
I can do that.
That's a fantastic idea.
Oh, there's P. Hang on to it.
No.
So ditch the Mountain Dew and gone with the Pepsi.
Yep.
So John Gallen in chat saying he'd do a 12-hour with COVID. I'm guessing you've done that in the past. Yeah, I think I'd rather not.
Yeah, I think that'd hamper your fatigue recovery a fair bit. Old Ed doing really well here. Gonna go check on my mate Mr. Slater. He's tucked right up behind. Hang on to it, Gunter.
Smoke signals.
50-cent piece, here we come. Speaking of that, can you imagine what's going to happen when iRacing finally implements flat spots into the time model?
The HF8's going to get a workout.
Yep.
Be like sitting in one of those massage chairs in a shopping centre.
Scotty Perrins working his way back up.
You wouldn't want to have a set of butt kickers.
Hell no.
A bit of Braille.
Oh, I reckon that was close.
And Jeff would have puckered up there pretty much. Scotty definitely through now. They're under a bit of pressure from the kid. Really a group of two at the moment. Mark Dial under a bit of pressure from Jason Dunn.
Yeah, I was debating when I should just let him go because I was waiting for him to start rattling on the back bumper, and I thought, yeah, it might be time.
We're still talking about Bulldog, or?
Bulldog will rattle on anyone's back bumper, but Jason does it a bit more. He does it harder than anyone else.
Yeah, once he latches on.
And I figured if I wasn't able to catch AJ up front, so I thought, oh well, I'm gonna let Jason through. He might help me get through as well.
Yeah, it's a really long race, this week. So there was definitely no point in fighting for position on lap 7. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. 250 Ks, 52 laps. Fair distance around this place. Good to see young Blake still driving and doing a little bit, John. Always great to see uncle and nephew pairing up in the Enduros.
Oh, you almost got your mark.
Yeah, that was one way. I hated that corner all night. And I just tried to take that easy all night and not have it loop around on me.
So that chicane is the hardest chicane on the iRacing to get consistent. Almost.
It is one of the most technical circuits. I think people underestimate that when they come here and race. Like to get the chicanes right, get using the curb right, the gradient changes going up and downhill, and the effects that has on the braking.
So the only thing about Imola, it would be nice to have the old layout in here as well.
Oh yeah.
It would be. It's a shame that's on here. He goes, running on the inside.
Nice, just let him off.
Yep. Because I remember that's the layout that I learned Imola on, like on the, I think F1 92, I think. The old Jeff Crammon game. Spent a lot of time doing that with the proper, well, I'd say the fast speed Tamburello. Obviously, there's good reasons why they got rid of it. The other thing too was the chicanes between the two last corners of start finish straight. There's a whole other series of chicanes there as well.
Yeah.
At Aquamin, you see this section here was all different too. So
It was just basically straight in, kink, straight out, bottom out in the middle of the dip, basically.
Yeah, so I think that the other track that I missed that I wish iRacing had done is the old Hockenheim ring.
That is Gunter in the wall there, I think. He'll get himself out. The old Hockenheim, the old Spa, I think would have been another good one to have.
What, the old Spa, the old classic Spa,
the old classic Spa. Yep. I reckon that would have been epic. And then the other one, of course, is the old original, not the original, but the old Silverstone.
I think that's part of the challenge of having laser scan tracks. Is that, you can't sort of do it that way, but I think I don't know how they did the normally I'd say, give them a break, except that they did the Monza Oval. So because they've done the Monza Oval, it's right. Okay, we know you can do it. You might have to take a few liberties, but just bring it.
But the Oval is there.
Yeah, but
Daniel got away with that.
But it's got to be in scannable state when you scan the track.
Yeah.
So it's I've seen the rally they run on the Oval. It's not all like traceable like it is in iRacing. That's for sure.
But the beautiful thing about a scan, once you got a 3D model, you can manipulate it how you want it.
Yep. It's like Bathurst. Like Bathurst doesn't need a rescan. It just needs a bit of an update. Move the fence and the chase. Update the signage, and we're good to go. And change the grip level, and we're good to go again, I think.
Keller here coming under a little bit of pressure from McMillan now.
It's a situation where I personally definitely prefer to be P2.
The only danger,
and I found this is the race that Scotty won 3 seasons back at Road Atlanta, which Scotty won, where Faz was leading, I was P2, I was following Faz around, but what we didn't realise at the time was Scotty and Troy Stonestreet were moving at a much faster pace, and once we pitted and let them loose, we just didn't have the pace to keep up with them, so it's an interesting one.
Well, McMillan looking pretty balanced here. Just gonna go back, check on the kid. Managed to get past Dial. Now has Dunn in front of him.
It's a question from John. Which of the fellas are looking to move up split season? It'll probably be the 10. It'll be very close to the top 10 that John talked about in the championship. So
Starting with dial.
Yeah. So I've started running the numbers again. I literally had the code out this afternoon to pull it together. I think there was like 2 or 1 driver difference from the actual championship results from the 6 rounds as opposed to the 8 rounds. 8 rounds we count? Yeah. So it's if you look at the championship standings, that's pretty damn close to what goes up and who goes down. It's not exact, but it's definitely a good indicator.
Will that shuffle though, going to 4 splits next season?
Depends how many drivers we put in each split.
Yeah.
Depends on all those sorts of things. So it's
and with Dave Coleman stepping back, we've just got to have a committee group. We've just got to sit down and have a bit of a serious yap about 4 splits.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did have a talk to Scotty Van Loon this morning. We've just got to make sure if we do, we've got to make sure everything's in place. We're not going to have the hand of God that Dave was in terms of managing the race control team and managing the Sim Racer Hub and all those sorts of things. So we've just got to weigh up the workload we'll be putting on a new person.
As always, friends that race V8 needs friends in race control. So if you yourself or have people that want to jump in and help out, definitely let us know.
Heat's starting to come under a lot of pressure. Anyway, we'll work those decisions out in the next few days. We want to open up entries for season 21 early next week. Start getting them in. I don't know about you, Bruce, but I'm almost now 99% confident that we will not have Gen 3 next season.
Oh, I'm still holding out hope. So in case you don't realise, John and I have an agreement, and that's that when Gen 3 arrives, I go back and race until then I'm stuck in race control. So I think John wants to keep another race control.
No, it's not that. Just my rumour mill is not looking favourable for next season.
So yes, I agree. You have your rumour mill. My sense says if iRacing doesn't bring it out next season, then don't fucking bother. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I'll tell you more later.
Yeah, it's fine. Obviously, everything's under NDA, so even if we did know, we couldn't talk it.
So battling on very hard here. Duddy's doing really well, up 7 spots in 7th. Lap 12. Let's have a look how Mr. Galley's getting on. He's still back into, only made up 3 spots. Did pit on lap 6 though.
Interesting comment from Pete in chat. The way practice when he didn't think he would go as well as he did. Practice is always tricky with the V8s, particularly on because they're all draft affected. You don't know what fuel people are running because obviously you can run your fuel down and put fresh tyres on and do a quick one. So practice times they're an interesting indicator, but they're definitely not the duck's guts, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd be very careful. No, and you got to remember too that
the time you got to care about is your own.
Yeah. And whether you feel comfortable with the car being on the edge. There has been a lot of guys also that go into the practice server. They get in people's way doing slow out laps, and then just doing 1 lap shootout. To use a phrase said to me, it's basically a bit of a dick swinging contest of who's got the fastest time. Instead of guys out there actually practicing and doing practice. Like there's quite a few guys that'll go out. Oh, hang on to it, Andrew. Ooh. Hang on to it. Oh, he's done well. Keep that off the tyre barrier.
Done very well.
Just a normal day on the dirt road.
Yeah, on the oval. So back to what I was saying. You got a lot of guys. If you're going to go out and just practice quali, we do loan quali. Like go and practice quali on your own. Like you don't need to be on track, getting in people's way, doing slow laps, practicing quali.
There's an easy way to solve that, John. All we have to do is turn the qualifying scrutiny to strict, Therefore, you won't be able to do a slow lap in quality, so there's no point practicing it.
Yep, that is another thought process. Anyway, there will be some changes to the practice servers next season moving forward. I will be saying that anyway. We've already done some this season. So there might be some slight other things coming up that are being discussed. But we'll see whether they eventuate. So Reg moved into second.
All practice services in the rain, dry races. Sounds good.
Yeah. Reg has got past Pete.
I've got to say, this Reg James bloke, he's definitely found some pace the last few races.
He keeps denying it too.
Yeah.
Just turned cranky into race pace. That's what I've noticed.
That's pretty much it. Race angry. No, I think the only reason I got past Pete was that he was sick of seeing me on his bumper, and we got close a couple of times. So he might have thought that the safest place for now was behind.
That's fair.
Brad Hayes doing well. He's sitting in 14th. Tucked up behind Michael Hayes.
Pete and Chad, he just said he let you by.
I figured he did. Just passing on this track is damn near impossible unless
He's calling it a mishap, but I'm calling it a conscious move to let you pass too.
Doing relatively well.
Yeah, we didn't have Brett Fisher in the race last night. Just me and Ed in the chat room. It was quite quiet.
Big shout out to Hoff in the chat as well.
I find it hard to believe that any chat room with you in it marks quiet.
Oh, I had my couple of, my couple of outbursts then, but a couple of things that went wrong that shouldn't have went. But yeah, no, always brothers. He was quite quiet. All I could hear was Ed's lighter going off quite a lot.
Mr. I'll roll one in pit lane.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it, although he's been racing longer than I have.
So imagine how fast you'd be if you had two hands on the steering wheel.
So at this point, we were definitely dozing off in race control. I think it's right about now where I fired up on Nick Hasler's stream. Start watching that as well.
It was about now that I was starting to think about when to do that first pit stop.
Pato doing well here.
I think the movers aren't, the numbers aren't as big this week, and I think that was due to the setup ratio. It didn't leave a lot to overtake on turn one. It would have been nice if we had been able to overtake more. I had that draft.
You don't.
The kid has moved himself up into 6th. Up 6 spots. Interesting reading that he was fatigued after the race. He's supposed to be the young.
it'll be
He's
like
supposed to be the. He's supposed to be the youngest and the fittest. It's like.
Next week's going to be even worse.
Another 50Ks next week, the enduro. But you really only get a break on the Camel Straight.
And similar in regards to this track where you've really got to watch.
You've really got to plan your pass. Shelton and Pato. Hang on to it, son. Gets it through.
I can already know where there's going to be incidents, which will be at the end of Camel Straight, people trying to make a move on the inside. Lap 1, that's going to be a thing, because it's such a draft track going up there at Spa.
Oh.
Be interesting in the V8, because like in GP3s, it's all flat up through Eau Rouge and Radillon, so it'll be interesting how the V8 gets up through there.
Yeah. You want to talk about overtaking it? Well, the Coombs, the 2023, hang on to its lats, the 2023 Pro Series, Bill Sel Myers rings a bell. I said hang on to its lats, not put it in the tyres.
I was going to say he wasn't listening to you.
Made it look good.
Hey, there was you just missed a mishap in turn 1, turn 2 for me.
For you? Ah,
Yeah,
damn.
Let Ed come back to me a little bit. And Andrew Johnson got back through, but at this stage of the race, I was just feeling, just keeping a good steady pace. Lap times are pretty consistent.
Off wants to know, Mark, what the road Atlanta set is like.
Yeah, I'll send you the one I made. I can send you the Spa one I whipped up a couple of minutes ago before getting in the broadcast.
So, Pato and Slats in the pits. Might have missed this one. Oh no. Need up one spot in 22nd. Kelleher, Healy and Sanford into the pits.
Freddie Perrins has popped in there too.
Yep.
So we haven't talked about it much, but that guy who's just behind Jason Dunn there, he's doing a cracker job at this stage.
He is. He is. He's doing very well. He was already gloating before last night that he was beating me tonight. So there he is sitting in sixth. I'll tell you now, if I was out there, you'd still be beating me, Andrew.
So I get the feeling he's done a bit of a Thanos, right? And what I mean by that is he's like, well, no one from my team's going to take the lead up the front of split 3. I better do it myself and get up there.
Yep. Nita Buckland in the pits. As well as Marshy, John Lee, Rice and Norris.
Also, spoiler alert, Jeff Eddy was the only driver to 0x the night.
I did read that on Facebook this morning. He's pretty chuffed about that.
Good effort.
Reg rolls in early.
Yeah, I had a massive lockup. I was going to go one more lap, but I had a massive lockup coming into the last 2 corners, so I said to Maddie, I'll just go in now.
The kid's still moving forward. Anita heading back out. Oh, hang on to it, Anita. Ooh, cold tyres.
Great job to keep it out of the wall.
Very good job.
Okay.
We've all been there at some point.
Yep.
Absolutely. And the car felt like it wanted about 3 laps before there was any real confidence in the heat in the tyres. So.
Hey, it's James. James doing very well. He's in 9th at the moment.
Showing glimpses again this season.
He's improving out of sight. And of course, I just love the Italian livery that he's running at the moment. Getting in the theme of the 2 Italian races.
Yeah, James had a bit of bad luck. He got in a couple of incidents that he could have avoided, and he'll make a mistake later that we'll cover off. But no, he's definitely been improving, James. It's great to see him having some good time. We had a bit of fun with him in practice as well, giving him a bit of push and shove practice in some of the practice sessions when I jumped on. So I'm always up for that too, particularly when I'm not actually racing races. If ever someone wants to practice the close quarter stuff in a minute session, just give me a shout. More than happy to do that.
A bit of snap there. Mill and Haynes done dial into the lane. A little bit hot going into Alta. Hits it off the wall though. Nicely turns around without going onto the track too much. Pete's come back out in front of you, Reg.
Yeah, I'd love to know how much fuel he took on. I was fairly confident that I probably took on more than anyone.
He took on 25.4 was his stationary time, and you were 33.3, so he took on a lot more than Pete.
So hopefully that comes back to me in the second half of the race.
Isle took in 26.6. Haynes took in 41.7. Almost filling the car up. Wow.
That's why, yeah.
So at this point, race control, we decided to book a restaurant and go and have some nice pasta. We'd up and left the building at this point because obviously they didn't need us.
That's been impressive. Even doing my cheat sheet tonight, there wasn't much to find.
It was from about here on that Craig, Keely and myself were pretty much close quarters for pretty much the rest of the race. We had a really good battle. I had to jump up after the race and go, wow, Craig, that was awesome. It was great racing between both of us.
We're still 2 seconds back on him at the moment, so give it a second to catch him as we got Fletcher, Christensen, Cullen and Hayes in the lane now.
So just because the racing was clean driver to driver, John, doesn't mean that it was incident free. I think there was a grand total of there was over about 520 incidents for the field racked up.
520, yeah.
So I don't know if that means we should be lowering the incident count on the races to clean it up.
So that's pretty good going. Like, you got to remember, everyone's got 17 incident points.
Yeah, so if we made it like 10, would the racing all of a sudden become super clean?
It's an interesting one because, like, with the Pro Series, they run 30 points, incident points, which is a lot more, and the guys will use them. Like the track like this, where you get a 1x for going that little bit wider on a corner. You know, if you've got that many, you'll use the liberty of getting that little bit of extra pace coming out of that corner.
So I think on the F3 league I used to run, we wanted to keep the racing super clean, so we dropped the X's down to I think 11 per driver. So we really tightened that up, so that and the part of the reason was to stop exactly that. And we actually wrote in the rules that you couldn't use off tracks to gain advantage or for speed. after someone did a pass around the outside and used it, we named the rule after the driver that did it, so it was the Tobias rule. We put that into the rules, but yeah, we just dropped the X count right down to clean up the racing.
It's a tricky one because not all X's are equal.
Hmm.
Oh, of course not.
You don't want to be penalising drivers that get caught up in incidents and rack up X's for being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. That's what
As a league, we dropped it down a little bit, and it tidied the racing up a bit. But you want to still leave enough where there is a bit of racing. Still got some liberty for racing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So here's the kicker though. We used iRace control and its incident system as opposed to the iRacing system. And the way it works is basically you give iRacing a massive number of incidents, and iRace control tracks the incidents. And what iRace control can do, if you have, I think we said if you have 2 minutes without an X, you gain one back. So what basically, if you've tapped someone, you've got a 4X, you can drive for 15 minutes clean with no X's, you'll have got all those X's back. And so iRace control tracks that separately, and that's a really good system actually, because what it means is, I had a bit of an oops, okay, I can drive 4 or 5 really clean laps, and then I don't have to worry about it again. The issue is that drivers can't see that. They can see it when they get to the level, they get a warning, but drivers we'd get an ask, hey, how many incidents did I have? And obviously you can't say that over the radio, so we'd be damning people back their incident counts. But it's a different way of thinking about it.
And
I'm not against dropping back to maybe 15, but
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with the 17. I don't think we need to drop it.
The other thing too is the number of incidents you rack up varies track by track. So this one in particular, you're picking up a shit ton. Bathurst, none, right? Because you can't go off track at Bathurst. Same with Belle Isle, right? Belle Isle, you either have 1,000 incident points or you have none because you've just been run on the walls. So it definitely varies track by track.
Philip Marsh having a good battle with Anita.
And the question from Anita, can you lose more than 1 incident point every incident? Yes, absolutely you can. So like a 1X is an off track. If that 1X becomes, I don't know how the 1X happens, but a 1X can become a 2X and it's sort of cumulative.
Lose control.
Yeah, that's right. So lose control becomes a 2X and then heavy contact becomes a 4X. I think somewhere, if you go off track but you come back on below a certain speed, I think you don't get the 1X, but I'm not quite sure about that. Vaguely remember something about that.
So at the moment, Matty, 2 seconds up the road from Pete Kelleher. Reg James starting to catch him a little bit. That gap now under a second. And Fletcher Christensen sitting in 4th. Craig Healy in 5th. Mark Dial is 2 seconds behind in 6th. In 7th is the kid. He's only up 5 spots. Still got a lot of work to do. Our championship leader. It's usually hazy when it sort of bounces off one and there's half a second or a second, then bounces into the next car. Ed starting to put a bit of pressure on Dunny again as well. So a few people making some moves now.
Sorry about that. I realised I didn't go on mute when I was slishing my ice around. Johnny Walker red on the rocks, in case you're wondering.
what was that? Something daiquiri?
No, Johnny Walker red. I'm not allowed to touch the Johnny Walker blue that's in the cupboard.
Are you just going to look at it?
Pretty much.
I thought it was there for enjoying.
Yeah, except
what I
that,
thought.
except that this is a James Jean special Year of the Dragon special edition bottle. So no. And to be honest, when it comes to whiskies, obviously I drink whiskey because I'm a McLeod. More of a fan of the Scottish whiskies, the Japanese whiskies, actually. So they're actually really good.
Yeah, I haven't had too many Japanese ones.
Oh, no, they're very good. AJ just dropping outside the top 10.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, what happened?
Was it pit stops that dropped him down a bit?
Yeah, it was pit stops, yeah.
So another driver we need to start talking about now is Nick Hausler. He's up 20 spots, been slowly chipping away through the field. His first stop, did an early first stop to do a bit of a undercut and get clear, came back. Mr. Zeal, how are you, Zippy? So he's been slowly working his way back up.
What colour umbrellas are you using there, Bruce? It's Michael Hayes, is that?
Oh, they're obviously branded RaceKraft Shadow Racing umbrellas, of course. Just like your undies, Mike.
Where's my umbrellas? I haven't got you then. Oh,
They leave you out there in the bush, don't they, Mark?
yeah, they do.
Well, we send them to you. Just the delivery drivers where you live is so crap.
Tell me about it.
So field spread a little bit at the moment. Aiden Rice, it's still back in 23rd, just passing Pato here up the hill.
Zippy, if you're bored sitting out and chat, you can always jump in Discord, mate. You're always welcome.
Yeah, always welcome for your special comments. Best special comments commentator we got going around.
Yep.
Always walk away thinking I've learnt something new.
So one thing we noticed, because we'd well and truly, but this time we were already eating our main meal, we're on to dessert from a race control point of view. We could just definitely see these little packs of packs evolving. We could see these little battle packs, and there was one point in the night where I literally said, "Oh, I reckon blah blah is going to be the next person to call in an incident," and Joe was very impressed that I was right. And 2 minutes later, that driver called in an incident. Shout out to Mr. Baxter.
Of course, the better looking Baxter.
Yep.
Of course, his brother very much used to having incidents called out to him.
Of course. And so Jason Chin, obviously also our awesome safety car driver. Complete contrast to to Belle Isle.
Yes, Anita, if you haven't done it already, hit the like button. And if you haven't already, also hit the subscribe button.
And if you haven't subscribed and you're part of the league, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror, honestly.
I try to refrain from doing that.
What, subscribing?
No, having a long, hard look in the mirror.
It doesn't improve with age.
No. But I have subscribed.
I have to have a word to our livery designer. He didn't make an upside down version of the AWS logo for that roof cam. Can't get good help these days.
Well, you got the job done, Mark.
Yeah, I got the job done there. I wouldn't have, actually, I said to Craig last night, I would not have thrown that move on anyone else but Craig. I knew that, he knew that I was coming.
Give a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, you've thrown moves on me before we were teammates. I remember the old love tap from you. Hard but fair.
Yeah. No, Craig,
think
Craig and I have had a good history.
I think you're right. That's one of the big difference with leagues as opposed to officials, right? You get to know the drivers. You get to know you can trust them. You can race door to door. So Pete Keller up front, is definitely staying in touch. 2 seconds off the lead. Reg, you're half a second off Pete. What's going through your mind at this point?
We're just at the halfway mark.
Wondering why Dial's in fifth place coming after you.
To be honest, I was not even paying any attention to the relative. I was just trying to stick to the lines and see if I could shake Pete up a bit.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this week I've lost my relative because I'm not willing to pay for the subscription to IRQ or whatever it was that I was running. So I don't have the relative up now. I'm working on finding what I can get for another one. So
you know iRacing has one.
Week.
You know iRacing has one, Mark.
Yeah, iRacing has one, yeah, but I don't. You know what I do? I sit on my brake bias because I'm always playing with that. It's more important than knowing who's behind me. I've got to know who the cars are.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't run the relative. I have a little pop-up that tells me.
I have the relative there just basically so that if I happen to find myself in a position I don't want to be in, I can make sure I'm not going to cause any grief to anyone else.
As in P3 because you want to be P2? Is that a position you don't want to be in?
As in P off track. And let's not come back on and kill someone.
Yeah, I've got a special off-track overlay that when I go off-track it tells me whether it's safe to come in or not, or how far the cars are behind before I rejoin. So.
Well, Matt Beals in the wall.
Yeah, speaking of off-track and rejoining.
Yep. Oh.
I don't remember this.
Just missed it, unfortunately. Okay, back up the front.
Yeah. So comment from John, Mr. Gallon in chat, I need to learn how to do the one lap. My qualifying is shit. So I know the theory, but I suck at the practice. The theory is you have to be able to hop in your car and go fast. So what you do is you hop out of your rig, you walk away, you go do something, you come back to your rig, you hop in, you do 2 laps, you do your qualifying laps, you hop out, you walk away. You come back in, you do it, and you do repeat. You've just got to be really good at jumping in the car and just putting a fast lap in straight away.
Like if I got out of the sim rig that many times, I wouldn't be able to get back in.
But the point is though, you've just got to be able to jump in. And I think the last season that I raced, what I was super happy with is I was actually getting purple laps in qualifying for the vets races. So for me, that was yep, I'm doing the job. When I need to do it, I'm actually driving faster. Yes, Mr. Zeal, your relatives live in Melbourne. Good. Very funny. You think they live in Melbourne.
Genuine comedian, isn't he?
Yeah, he thinks they live in Melbourne. That's just where they tell you they live because they want to keep their safe distance.
I thought he was adopted.
And Rice getting past Charlton. And Healy Dial and the kid here, he's up 5, he's in 7th. Still got a bit of work to do. Put a lot of fuel in that first stop. I might come back to help him later in the second stop.
So I think it's interesting to just take stock here for a second. Like we're 29 laps in, no safety car, and P5, 6, and 7 is separated by about a second. It's just ridiculous how competitive this is getting.
It is hard work.
It was here where I was thinking, all right, Simon, you keep Craig busy while I make a run for it.
Yes, this was a battle we were definitely watching in race control. Because what else do you do when no one's calling in incidents?
Get to enjoy the racing.
You do.
Yeah. keep an eye on the iRacing
And
timing
we're-
sheet and pick the gaps and have a look and wait for the next incident.
And you also play incident bingo, which is something that we can do that no one else can do, which is you see which drivers and how many incident points they're on and work out who's the next one to go hit pit lane for a drive-through.
I think at this stage I only had one. It wasn't until later on when a certain driver come up and wanted to make a move and I wasn't going to leave by, so we gained a couple extra.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with Mr. Gallen in chat that these. To be honest, I thought that this season was going to be the splits were going to be a bit off, to be honest. Just because moving to the promotion-demotion system, there's a potential that you're out of pace based on your number of positions, but it seems to have been working out. So I always thought it'd take a couple of seasons to shake out. It seems to have gotten there. So I think what we might even be able to do, next season, John, is get rid of the best 6 count and literally just go off championship positions.
I think there's a lot of people, myself included, that don't necessarily have a huge amount of one lap pace.
Yeah.
But when it comes to consistency, you might be a little bit better in that regard. So it rewards consistency, and at the end of the day, the championship's not fought over 1, 2, or 4 laps. It's fought over 10 rounds. So.
I sort of was thinking, is Mr. McMillan, is he too fast for the split? But he's absolutely not, because look at Pete, right? So Pete's been in split 3 as long as I can remember, and here he is, half a second, setting the pace, keeping him honest. Same with you, Reg. It's definitely not. Matt's definitely not out of place.
Nah.
But I think you've only got to look at it like up until tonight.
Oh, it might be
6 rounds, 6 winners. There's nobody really running away with it. So
Absolutely bullshit.
But the other thing too that it shows is that there is so much overlap now between the splits as well, right? So you can just take the top 10 of split 2 and put them in the back of split 3, and they'll be fine. They will be at the back for sure, but unless you're Adrian Zeal, you somehow manage yourself up the front. But I think a lot of times we probably overcomplicate and overthink things that can be quite simple.
indeed.
Good little battle here. Oh, the old fake by Slats going in the lane.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I think that was a do the opposite.
Slats has got a habit of that. He did that to me at the race earlier this season. But it didn't work. Because I wasn't... I was sticking to my pitch strategy on that one, and he kept taking a dive in. And, oh, okay. Oh, I ain't going in. If you want to go in, go in.
Yeah.
So you do that quite a lot.
Oh, nice little move. Slats. Oh, hang on to it. Here comes our race leader as well. Slater not too far. Got McMillan behind, and see Kelleher not too far behind Matty now. And a little bit of a lock up from both cars, went in deep. Ooh! McMillan just squeezes through.
Sean loves having that car sideways. Jumps to the pits. and does a massive lock up on entry. I'm guessing that's a pit lane speed violation. Bit of lap traffic starting to come into play now.
Hmm. Where else? So the kid, he's up 6th now. He's sitting in 6th. Got past Healy, now tucked up behind Dial. So definitely getting to around the time of the next compulsory pit stop. So Kelleher first to peel off.
That Pete pitted when he did, because he had a longer stop
Oh, that's
previously. Or
that's a big hit, and smoke coming out of there. That's Tim. I think the engine's blown there. In a little bit of a precarious position coming out of Aqua Minerale.
And this one I'm going, Chinny, wake up, Chinny.
Adrian Zeal wants to know what Reg is wearing.
What?
He's
Now or
laying,
last night?
I'm laying in front of my wood fire. Can Reg tell me what he's wearing?
You don't want to know.
And Chinny still hasn't moved out yet.
well, given that I'm here in Melbourne and I don't have a wood fire, I can assure you it's a lot more fucking layers than what he is.
And I think it is about this stage that we get the call. And seeing if Mr. Chin hasn't moved yet, he's on his way out.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, we
actually
had a
beginning
way
to think that there wasn't going to be a safety car.
Yeah, we had to wait a little bit because if you look how spread out the field is, and what we're trying to do is minimise contamination. So in this race, we were waiting for the what it is, what it is.
No, I'm just reading the comment. It's not your
Uh,
Oh, jeez.
he wears a bulldog D-banger. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Click the button now, do the right thing.
So we were waiting for the leader to hit the chicane. That's what we were waiting for. As you can see, when he hit that particular point of the track, we threw out the safety car to try and let people go through and let Jason come out, and also not disadvantage anyone by not having to, be able to pit and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, I went in, quite a few of us. I think Craig was in as well.
I'm about to see a flutter of cars through, and missing to see how this works for Pete. Bearing in mind he's done his second compulsory already. He would have lost time being green flag.
And unlike Daytona and Monza, we had to wait a while for the train to. We had a long time for the train to form because I think the average speed being a lot lower, so we had to wait for the train. It was a long time for the about 3 minutes or so for the train to form up.
The first man come at the back, getting a wave around, Mr. Galley.
I may or may not have decided to look away at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a dangerous speed when. Yeah.
It's plenty of room. People can see it. Very easy car to pick up.
And this is what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid the not picking up the leader, but because everyone pitted.
You'd imagine how much longer it would have taken for the train to catch up if those cars hadn't have got through.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the car is a lot more visible because Pete didn't hit it.
Rob, you mean?
Rob. Well, one of the Baxters.
There's only one. There's only one that's guilty of hitting the safety car.
The better looking Baxter.
Yeah, it didn't stop my teammate hitting me instead of the safety car, though. Shout out Ed Cullen.
Yeah, I thought that'd be the case, Pete. You stopping under a green flag and these boys under a yellow definitely would have wrecked your night. Mind you, still sitting in fourth.
It killed my strategy. I'd taken the heavier stop the first time round, so it just didn't matter what happened because we were all pitted under the safety car and nobody was able to get out and gain track advantage. So.
That BMW doesn't handle the chicane very well.
Nah.
Yeah, so Simon jumps back up.
Into third.
And made some good gains there, that pit stop.
That's okay. On the bumper, Van Ree Holmes.
Holmes, yep. It's my
Is he like Sherlock Holmes?
It's my brother's construction business.
Ah.
Of course, if you need a cabinet maker, we've got Barella cabinets on there as well.
So you're just missing electrician, plumber, painter, and you're good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe a tiler or two.
We got the pool guy, so.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, he'll be able to tile.
Landscaping, maybe.
No, I haven't got one of them.
You don't need landscaping in Aubrey.
And you got the pet portraits to hand.
I was D37Rs on the car. That's as good as a landscaper. The amount of time he spends off the track.
So what you're seeing here is the I think what you're seeing here is the cars that are going to get waved around on the right, and the others on the left.
Yep. Here they come.
So that
Maybe.
new system of just letting the drivers themselves sort it out, as opposed to us calling each car individually, is working out a treat. So for those not in split 3, what we're basically saying is cars line up on the left, those that are eligible for a wave round jump up on the right, and then they all just route past in order so we don't have to call them individually. Works out quite well.
I don't know how I'm going to get the lead. I'll just jump to the right next time.
Sure. You can do that if you want to get DQ'd. Now, this gets interesting, John. So you might want to follow James Cormick, maybe, as they will go around. Would be my hot tip. So essentially what we're seeing now is the cars are getting away from around. They're essentially racing, but not. So they're trying to get around back on the train as fast as they can. Obviously, they have to hold their positions, and they can't pass each other because they're still under yellow, but they can do a safe race pace, whatever that means. I still haven't worked it out after all my races in vets.
Read the damn regs, it's not that hard.
I know what the regs say, but what does it actually mean? You know what I mean?
It means go as fast as you can without killing anybody. Or yourself.
LF2, was it? Let's fucking go. That's what it means.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So these boys are racing around the back, and so what you'll see is we keep going for one more lap, but the boys down the back, they decide to keep going around. So we're coming around for one more lap still, but they're racing around. And what you'll see the next lap around is when the field goes green, maybe the boys down around the back shouldn't be racing, but are. You know what I mean? So
safety car's pulling away.
Yep, safety car's pulling away, so the train's coming around to go green. So of course the regs, you're not actually able to pass anyone until you hit the control line. So
Now some of the radio chatter makes sense from last night.
yeah.
At the time I'm thinking, what the hell are they on about? Just shut up. Shut up.
So safety car's in pit lane, so we're restarting at the front.
And we've already gone.
Yep.
We'll go back to the back for a minute.
And then, meanwhile, the boys at the back go, right, time to go. But actually not, but that doesn't stop them from...
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
That's a
There's one.
what are you right there?
That's one. Yep.
He's
One off
thinking
the
that's
track.
one of the easiest.
Two off the track. Two off the track. Well, that one was off the track. That was unsafe. That was a rejoin. You can claim that as a rejoin. If you want to. You can argue it.
Yeah, sure. Later was like, yeah, so Mr. Cormick got a penalty for that.
Anyway, we are green flag racing. I've also got that sitting in the yellow. We'll go back out the front. Reg James in P2, McMillan P1, the Kid P3, Kelleher 4, Christensen 5, Dial 6, Healy 7, Dunn 8, Hayes in 9th, and Andrew Johnstone running in the top 10.
Yeah, back where they're actually allowed to pass.
Yeah, nobody was making it that easy for me.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And to be fair to James, when we spoke to him after the race about it, he said, look, I realised after the first one of the 4 came in that I was already broken the rule. I'm getting a drive through, so I'm going to do it for 1, I'll do it for 3.
You could argue that the other 2 were off the track, though.
Yeah, Sean Slater, definitely. But so, Reg, P2, been here before. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Just braking markers. Just keep hitting your braking markers. Don't do anything stupid. I knew that it was a hard track to pass on. If I could keep in Matty's toe, then that would negate a lot of the main straight speed. But yeah, mostly just don't screw it up.
Did he get a little bit of a helping hand? Well, I've got might have been a little clip in the end.
I think, wasn't he saying he appreciated that because it helped him get back faster? Something
Yeah,
like that.
get back on. Yeah.
Probably stopped him
I think
from
that-
rolling into the tyres.
Yes, I think he lost it, but he said the tap actually helped him. Believe it or
He
not.
had a bit of a distraction going into that corner.
Phone call.
She was too happy about, but yeah. I think somewhere here is where Fletcher gets a slowdown on. Just about there. He's trying to clear it. And all I want to do is get through.
It's dropped him back a little bit from the lead 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and brought Healy right up on the back of me.
Mr. Dunn's still hanging around either. Yeah, so if you look at the track map, it's interesting, right? You've got 2 full-on battle packs. You've got the lead lappers at the front in one pack, and then you've got all the back markers in another pack.
And of course, you got the kid tucked right up behind Reg.
He knows how to fill the mirrors.
So 12 laps to go. Pretty much now a straight fight to the finish. Everyone should be safe with fuel after their last stops in the safety car.
I know with the everybody bunching back up again, you know, is there going to be another safety car?
Always the fear.
You can see a car not far up the road from Matty. The lappers.
He's pulled away a little bit.
Something like this. Definitely a lot more fun when there's multiple things on your mind than, you know, being 6 seconds behind or in front of somebody.
Yeah, you got to work a little bit at this stage, Reg.
Yeah.
Focus level goes up another notch.
You start to think less about how many laps there are to go and just more about just driving the line. There's nothing like being able to see somebody's helmet in your rear vision mirror to sharpen your concentration.
Hmm. Kid showing those youthful skills, very smooth on the wheel.
I think by this stage, after every hard braking zone, I was trying to shake the foot a little bit. I'm guessing he wasn't having that trouble. He will though. He will. He'll get there.
Take a couple of years. Having a
Yep.
look on the outside of Tozer. Pete Keller hanging onto the back of his guys, and then up front, Millen working his way through some traffic. McMillan, very comfortable ahead of these boys. Going back, Healy's still battling away. Man in this group now, Nick Hazel's in the top 10, up 23 spots. Andrew Galley up 23 spots in 13th.
Yeah, when I had a chat with Craig, I said to him, when we were coming down the front straight, I said that, I knew that he'd be hitting the limiter earlier because he was in the draft, so I just kept the normal line going in, even though I was already on the limiter. But knew that, he couldn't get around me because we were limited. So it was just one of those things where you could just pick that line going in.
So what you're saying, Mark, is that the setup prevented you from being passed?
Well, no, I don't recall seeing too many overtakes in turn one. Unless someone made an error coming out of the last corner, it's the only way you were going to get around.
Even if you had a different gear ratio, you'd be a brave man to pass in turn one, I reckon.
I remember doing it in previous seasons when we've been here.
We did it a while ago. We run this same ratio as long as I can remember.
I also remember a big pile up in the kink before we got to turn one.
Yeah, I remember being on my roof for that.
Massive pile up.
Nine laps left to go. Pete's putting the pressure on Simon. Simon's putting the pressure on Reg. Turn your mirror off yet, Reg?
It was just eyes forward, and yeah, like I said before, it's a really hard track to pass on. So I figured if I didn't make a mistake, it was going to be tricky. Not impossible, but tricky.
Indeed, inside the top 20, doing well.
Doing very well. Very good drive, up 4 spots.
We can still hear Ed whispering at this stage under his breath about losing all those places.
It's the boys now tick over. It's a lap 45.
Little Waters, Rob Baxter in the lane. Max, our heel is getting on. Still keep the pressure on dial.
I think this could be the lap. Where things start to really ramp up for us. Certainly making that Mustang look wide, Reg.
Do what I can. Making up with your life here. I'm happy to give away the outside position.
A little bit of a push.
Just where, yeah, I waited an arrow coming up the hill and Tilly got round and then Jason thought he was going to take the spot too and off, hey, no thanks, no way.
And side by side, little Robin, yep. And he's taking the spot.
Hey, he might get it now.
Reg protecting the inside line again. Got a kid, definitely racy here.
Perspective when you're seeing it from the outside as well.
Mm.
Coming for a look. Oh. Respectful driving, too wide by both ears.
That was probably one of the highlights of the night.
Is that the not quite overtake of the century?
Yeah, it's the hold off from the overtake of the century.
Let's see. I went too wide into Alta and survived.
Overtake of the week. It'll take a minute. Oh, Simon's got to run. Definitely having a look. Switch to the left, to the right. Down the outside, there's nowhere to go there.
Relentless, though. Definitely relentless. He was actually really quick coming through that section there.
Definitely got the pressure on you.
Yep.
And just clip the grass. Oh. And Dunny.
Oh, that's what I didn't see. I don't remember that. So that must have pushed Dunny over here. Because he finished way behind.
That dropped you back down the 10th, Reg.
When I muted myself on the chat. So, obviously, there wasn't a lot of room for error. And I had a software incident that took up some of the vision on my screen.
Oh no.
And yeah, it's my own stupid fault. I should have double checked something before I started the night when I changed some software around, and yeah, it's just one of those things. You know,
It happens.
who knows? 4 laps to go. You know, anything could have happened anyway. So
Yeah.
he was certainly put the pressure on, but yeah, just more angry at myself for putting myself into a position where a pop-up can come on the screen. I'm normally pretty tight on that, so I don't use the rig for anything but iRacing. So
No crypto mining.
no. all I can say is if you decide to go from SimHub to the official HF8 software, make sure you disable the HF8 from SimHub, because at some point it spat it and threw an error message up.
Nick's done well to get himself up into the top 10, up into 9th. Brad Hayes in 8th. And McMillan's lead up the front now down to 2 seconds. 2.1.
How quick Simon can close that gap, if he can actually close it. I haven't seen the dying stages of the race, so how much was I actually holding him up? He obviously had a little bit more pace, I should say. No, Scotty, no. Different computer for that, mate.
Andrew Galley tucked up behind you as well in 13th.
Yeah, I came back out into an area with some drivers that I don't think were too happy that I was just dropping in and out off the edge of the track to get everything back up and running. So
The gap up the front still sitting at around 2.3 seconds. So he's not catching him.
That makes me feel a little bit better. I wasn't just holding him up then.
So last week's Chubby Buns winner suggesting that this week should be Mr. Hausler.
Up into 7th, 26 spots up. Pretty good drive.
Great drive, but I'll tell you what, there's somebody else that I'm thinking of.
Dave Baldock.
No. No. I think you alluded to how well they did earlier. I'm thinking, well, so far, obviously, Jeff Eddy. Up 6 spots, 0 extra. Pretty impressive around this track.
Mind you, the kid up 10 spots.
Well, yeah, if the kid can take the win, then it's another person to think about, isn't it?
It is. Looks like he might be putting all the pressure onto you, Dol.
To this guy just in front of you, Reg, too. AJ's had a great drive as well.
I let you have that.
Slight mistake hitting the curb. Or the anti-cut, I should say.
I really wanted this position back.
Ooh, you had an opportunity there. You almost lost it.
Yeah. I've seen that happen. Sort of seen that coming, and I went, I just sort of backed out. I didn't want to hit him. It was the last thing I wanted to do.
That gap's now down to 1 second, so not sure what's happened to Matty, whether he's backed off a little bit. Interesting to know. Haynes definitely within eyesight. Gap sitting now under a second. Of course, as we know, this place is one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass them. Let's go through Aqua Minerale for the final time. Luke Ullman giving another vote to Jeff Eddy. I suppose if we give it to Jeff, it'll be plastered up on the wall in the replay in the showroom in the morning.
I just remember Bruce saying how many incidents there were so for somebody to actually not have an incident with that count, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there was a shit ton.
Shit tons, Bruce. There from the shitter by the sounds of it.
I moved from the desk to the rig, sticking stickers on my new button box.
Ah, I thought you might have been looking for that Johnny Walker Blue.
It's more like you were from the Thunderbox, mate.
So McMillan first, Haynes home in second. Great drive from the kid. That will keep his championship lead, I think, over McMillan quite comfortably. Fletcher Christensen in P3. Pete Kelleher, great drive by him as well. He's sitting in P4 after that great qualifying run that he had.
Flat, mate.
And, of course, the man who did take the win, Matt McMillan. Well done, Matty.
Cheers, thanks, mate.
How did you find that one?
Well, very hard towards the end there. My tyres were gone. I think if I had another lap to do, I reckon that would have been... I don't think I would have been able to hold him off.
Yeah, fair enough. I was wondering how you lost second in that last lap.
Oh, yeah, I made the mistake of looking in my rear vision mirror too. You know, I was very disciplined for most of the race, but for the last... when I lost Reg, it was... I just kept looking in the mirror and see who was coming, and I seen it was Simon, and
I just got a little bit too excited by having
Yeah.
that male model in the window.
yeah, that's it.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to, Matty?
All the boys at WKMP, yourself for putting this on, Bruce for race control. I know it's a thankless job, so, and all the boys and girls that I race with. So I'm having a great time at the moment.
Yeah, good to hear, mate. Good to hear. And of course, our championship leader, who was up 10 spots into P2, so it's Simon the Kid Haynes. How did you find it, Simon?
G'day all. Yeah, bloody tough. Was not easy night, that's for sure.
Well, it's probably one of the toughest tracks to pass people, so you've done an impressive job to get up to P2 in the top 10. You obviously filled up. I think it was a 41-second stop for your first stop. Was that the game plan, or did you have a mistake in your refill?
No, yeah, I always put out a plan in the Discord for our guys in split 3, and that was my plan. Was around lap 18, fill her up, then go to lap 36, and then that was the short fill. But as it happened, the safety car came out exactly when I wanted my second stop anyway, so that was perfect timing too. So that pretty much went exactly to plan. So it paid off this week, which is good.
And how's the body recovering?
Oh, not good. I didn't want to get up to go to work this morning. I could have stayed in bed, I reckon. Normally in the second stint, it's a little bit tyre saving and a little bit more cruisy. Because I qualified so poorly, it was just push. And everyone I drove with was great, especially at the end with Reg and that battle. That was awesome. It was sad in one way to see him lose it, but also couldn't wipe the grin off my face when I was sort of let loose to chase Matty. But that was unreal.
And next week we're at Spa for 300 Ks. Do you reckon you can handle that?
Nah.
I
got some work to do.
It's interesting in split 3, boys, how when we do the enduro, that extra 50 Ks just pushes that fatigue limit to that next level where guys start making silly mistakes.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is qualifying well. That really changes the game a bit too.
Oh, definitely. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, just all the Pecky boys, the good guys, the Nick, the Angry Birds for helping out. He's always good. And cheers for Pecky. Teaches me everything I know. Tells me to say it. So all good.
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I won't go there.
I was waiting for you to. I just lost my train of thought now. So Fletch isn't with us. So Fletch doing very well. The championship battle really is tight at the top, isn't it, boys?
Sure
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
Looking forward
Definitely going to be tight to the end.
Looking forward to seeing how the next 3 rounds play out.
What did you say last night, Reg? It was like nine winners. Is that correct?
Makes 7 rounds, 7 different winners.
7 different winners, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you really you can't argue that split 3 is hotly contested.
Mind you, also out of that 7 winners, we haven't had the winner come back and be on the podium in the next race either. I think Pete's come the closest, P4.
Sorry, Matty.
So that's it, Matty. You're in for a bad race next week.
I wouldn't say that. It's my favourite track. It might be the distance that'll ruin me, but because I struggled there for cramp too yesterday. So,
So also big shout out from John Gallen for Blake Warboys with his much anticipated track guides that he's been doing. Very much appreciated. And also big congratulations to Blake as well on the news that's out today that he's going to be a father.
in January. So congratulations to you and Gem Bloke. Yeah.
So I'm just taking notes. McMillan pit lane penalty.
Won't make no difference.
So, boys, we do have one thing left to do, and I'm going to handball this one to Simon and Matt. Seems they want to be on the podium. They can make the hard decisions. Who is driver of the day, boys?
I'd have to give it to Nick as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Nick. Top drive for him. I know he qualified poorly and was disappointed in himself, but that's a great drive through there to get up top 7. That's good.
To be honest, when I finished the race, I didn't even think Nick was racing because I hadn't seen him the whole race. I didn't even know he'd started until tonight.
Yeah, 26 spots he was up, so that's a fair effort from him. So our Chubby Buns Burgers driver of the day is Nick Hasler. So congratulations, Nick, on that one.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Nick.
And like I said, next week we are racing at Spa. I am back, so there will be a mobile chicane out there somewhere to be careful of.
Well, that means Bulldog will be back too.
There'll be 2 mobile chicanes out there to be careful of. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, it'll be a bit of fun anyway. Looking forward to that one.
Bulldog will be unshaven as well.
Oh, unsullied.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. It's 300 Ks. It's our enduro. We're getting to the pointy end of the season. It's time when these big dogs are going to have to step up if they want to take the title. And no, it's not going to get much easier from here with 150 Ks at Road Atlanta and then our enduro round showdown at Sandown. And of course, a huge thank you as well, why the man, the myth, the legend is in here, to LGC Images. They're going to do a custom print, which is almost a metre wide, 300 millimetres high, on metallic pearl paper, framed, of somebody's retro livery. So looking good. A huge thank you, and I think that'll look really good on someone's wall. A huge thank you, Reg, for putting that one up. It comes with a fair value to it as well. So, so plenty of guys already out there have done some amazing liveries already. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that, and it'll be a very tough gig to win, I think. That's all I'm going to say at this stage. And as I said earlier, just keep your ears out for entries opening up for next season, for season 21. It's not far away before we've got to start getting that going. And just keep an ear out on where we're going to be with that. And as we talked about earlier, Dave Coleman stepping down from race control. He's been doing it for 2.5 years. He's done a magnificent job as our chief race steward. Going to leave a very big void for the management and committee to fill. So just keep an ear out. We'll be talking to a few people about a few things and hopefully have some announcements on what's going on in that space at some stage. But yeah, at the end of the day, again, just a huge thank you to everyone who does do race control. We know it's a tough gig, but it's great to see people step up and do those things. And you don't have to be a driver in the league. You could be a friend or a supporter. You just want to get more involved. Put your hand up and have a chat to us. That's pretty much all I've got to talk about at the moment. Huge thank you, of course, to Bruce, Mark, Reg, and to Panda and the kid for coming in and having a chat at the end. Love how you boys have come and dropped in. You're always welcome to drop in from the start. You don't have to sit there and watch in silence. Yeah, you're hiding from the family. Yeah.
Wife's already nagging me to get back out. We've got company.
Oh, you better go. You go, Hazy.
I'll go in a minute.
You go, mate. You can do. Yeah.
All right. Cheers, fellas. Thanks, everyone. Love Split 3.
Yeah. No worries. Wait me with us next season. That's all right.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No worries, mate. And on that note, huge thank you, of course, everybody out watching, getting involved in the chat. Great having you guys along as well. And on that note, we will call it. And that was the last thing I had to say. Next Friday night is the Pro Series Interlagos round. It is a 500k race. So there won't be a split 3 broadcast next Friday night. You'll have to jump on SimSpeed or Stream Racing Group's YouTube channel, watch that. Plenty of Vets boys racing in that as well. Particularly with co-drivers, quite a few Vets guys have got a gig in that space. So go and cheer those boys on. And I'll let everybody know when we will be doing split 3 broadcast, but we'll get it out at some stage over the weekend. At this stage, I'm not traveling for the next 2 weeks, hopefully, so I'll make sure stuff gets done. On that note, good night, everybody. We'll see you all again next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Sean.
See you guys.
Introducing the RaceKraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a RaceKraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP SideNet to finish off the experience in the PT1. The RaceKraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.